The night is silent in the fields of eastern Ukraine, until a deep rumble shatters the calm. A green military truck halts in an open field, headlights off, soldiers moving quickly and quietly. They work in darkness, knowing enemy drones could be watching. In minutes, a box on the truck's back tilts skyward. Suddenly, 6 fiery rockets launch, streaking into the black sky. These rockets, faster than airliners, vanish into the night, headed for a Russian army base kilometers away. The base stores ammunition, fuel, and supplies, but its defenders have no warning. Guided by GPS, the rockets strike with deadly accuracy, causing massive explosions. Even before the last rocket lands, the Ukrainian crew is already gone. The truck, HIMARS, roars away, leaving no trace. This shoot-and-scoot tactic is their lifeline fire, then vanish before the enemy can retaliate. Staying put means certain death. Speed is survival. The crew will hide, reload, and wait for the next mission. Since summer 2022, scenes like this have played out across Ukraine. HIMARS has become a symbol of hope for Ukrainians and a nightmare for Russian troops. It strikes anywhere, anytime with pinpoint precision. For Ukraine, it's a way to fight back against a larger force. For Russia, it's a threat lurking in the darkness. This single weapon system changed the war's rhythm. It gave Ukraine a new way to defend its land and people. HIMARS turned dark nights into moments of fierce resistance. The balance of power on the battlefield shifted. The war would never be the same. In spring 2022, Ukraine was under relentless attack. Russian artillery pounded cities and front lines, overwhelming Ukraine's outdated guns. Ukraine needed a weapon that could strike far and accurately. The US and allies responded, sending the first HIMARS systems in June. Ukrainian crews trained fast, learning to use this advanced mobile rocket launcher. HIMARS was a game-changer. It could hit distant, high-value targets with precision. Ukrainian forces quickly targeted Russian ammo depots, command posts, and supply lines. Instead of attacking soldiers, they struck the enemy's lifeblood, supplies, and logistics. Russian artillery advantage began to crumble as their stockpiles exploded. The Russian advance slowed, then stalled. Forced to move supply depots far from the front, Russia's resupply became slow and risky. For the first time, Ukraine could hit deep behind enemy lines. HIMARS gave Ukraine the power to disrupt Russian plans and launch counterattacks. The battlefield momentum shifted. Ukraine's defenders had a fighting chance. The war's outcome was no longer certain. HIMARS looks like a simple truck, but it's a high-tech weapon built for speed and power. Its 6-wheeled frame is light enough to fly in a cargo plane and fast enough to escape danger. On its back sits a rocket launcher, holding 6 rockets ready to fire. The armored cabin protects a 3-person crew driver, gunner, and commander. The commander gets target coordinates, the gunner programs the computer, and the driver positions the truck. After firing, they have only minutes to escape before enemy artillery can strike back. Shoot and scoot is their mantra. Fire, then disappear. The small crew size means quick action and less risk. Reloading takes less than 5 minutes, so they're always ready to strike again. Efficiency and survival depend on teamwork and speed. HIMARS is designed for modern warfare, mobile, precise, and deadly. It's not just a weapon, it's a force multiplier. In Ukraine, it's become a symbol of smart resistance. HIMARS is versatile, firing 2 main types of munitions in Ukraine: GMLRS rockets and ATACMS missiles. GMLRs, Guided Multiple Launch Rocket System, are smart rockets, 6 per pod, each with a 200-pound warhead. GPS guidance lets them hit targets over 80 kilometers away with pinpoint accuracy. This precision allows Ukraine to destroy enemy positions without harming civilians nearby. HIMARS can fire all 6 rockets at once, saturating an area or focusing on a single target. The second option is ATACMS, a single, much larger missile with a 500-pound warhead and a range up to 300 kilometers. ATACMS is reserved for high-value, distant targets, airbases, command centers, logistics hubs. Ukraine has used them to destroy Russian aircraft and disrupt deep supply lines. The US was cautious about sending ATACMS, but their impact has been dramatic. With both GMLRs and ATACMS, HIMARS can strike near or far, adapting to any threat. This flexibility makes it a nightmare for enemy planners. No target is truly safe. HIMARS redefines what artillery can do. HIMARS upended Russia's strategy of overwhelming artillery barrages. Russian supply depots, once safe behind the front, became prime targets. Ukrainian strikes triggered massive explosions, crippling Russian logistics. Suddenly, Russian guns fell silent. There weren't enough shells to keep firing. Forced to move depots far from the front, Russia's resupply slowed to a crawl. This disruption opened the door for Ukraine's counteroffensive in late 2022. Ukrainian forces reclaimed territory, including Kherson, as Russian defenses crumbled. HIMARS didn't just destroy equipment, it shattered Russian morale. The threat of sudden, precise strikes haunted Russian troops. HIMARS proved that smart tactics could beat brute force. For months, HIMARS seemed unstoppable, but the battlefield evolved. By late 2023, Russia countered with advanced electronic warfare, jamming the GPS signals HIMARS rockets rely on. Jamming reduced rocket accuracy, sometimes causing them to miss by dozens of meters. Ukraine and its allies scrambled to adapt, but effectiveness dropped in heavily jammed zones. Russia also improved drone surveillance, eventually destroying at least one HIMARS launcher. The cat-and-mouse game grew deadlier. Crews had to move faster and hide better. In March 2025, U.S. aid, including rockets and intelligence, was paused to pressure Ukraine into peace talks. Without U.S. satellite data and fresh ammunition, HIMARS operations became much riskier. Even the best weapon is useless without supplies and information. Ukraine faced a new reality: fewer rockets, less intelligence, and greater danger. The future of HIMARS in Ukraine was suddenly uncertain. The war had entered a new, more complex phase. HIMARS' success in Ukraine has changed how the world views artillery. Precision, range, and mobility now matter more than sheer firepower. NATO allies are racing to buy HIMARS, seeing it as both a deterrent and a battlefield equalizer. Countries like Poland and the Baltic states are investing heavily, knowing technology can offset smaller armies. The system is setting a new standard for modern artillery. Challenges like Russian jamming are driving rapid upgrades, software, hardware, and tactics. The lessons from Ukraine are shaping the next generation of smart rockets. HIMARS combines precision, long-range power, and speed, key elements for future wars. The age of smart artillery has begun, reshaping how nations defend themselves. The story of HIMARS in Ukraine is just the beginning.
Join Intel Prime Channel membership today and get access to exclusive benefits, including early access to new videos, exclusive discounts on Intel products, behind-the-scenes content, live chat with me and other members. Other options will be soon available. Thank you for your support and for helping Intel Prime grow.